Volodymyr Ivasiuk is a Ukrainian composer, musician, poet. He was born on the 4th of March 1949 in the town of Kitsman, Chernivtsi region, in the family of teachers Mikhailo Ivasiuk and Sofia Karyakina. His father, before his son was born, had been imprisoned for 6 years in the Gulag for illegally crossing the Romanian-Soviet border. When World War II began, he did not want to fight in the Romanian army, but dreamed of studying at a Soviet university. Instead, he went to prison on suspicion of espionage and was released in 1946, returned to Kitsman, and worked as a teacher in the local 10-year school and agricultural technical school. At the same time, Mikhailo Ivasiuk studied French philology at Chernivtsi University, which he graduated in 1949. Later, he defended his PhD thesis, became a famous writer, literary critic, folklorist, teacher, and public and cultural figure, and knew 6 foreign languages. Little Volodymyr grew up as a lively and inquisitive boy. At the age of 5, he was bought a violin and went to study in the violin class in the local children's music school, initiator of the creation of which was his father. And when Volodya turned 11, a small cabinet piano appeared in the house. It was then that the future composer began to compose his first songs. In 1963, after graduating from the 6th grade, Volodya, on the advice of music teachers, entered the Kiev Music School for Gifted Children, named after Lysenko. But he studied here only for the first quarter. Because of his illness, parents took him back to the town of Kitsman. It was there that he continued his studies in secondary and music schools in the piano class. In the fall of 1964, Volodya created a girls' band Bukovinka at school, wrote his first songs for it, and won regional competitions. He studied excellently. He was on his way to a gold medal award for perfect knowledge. But an unpleasant incident happened. One day, a few months before graduation, he was walking with his friends in the park. One of the guys threw his cap at the plaster bust of Lenin that was standing there. When they went to remove it, the bust fell and broke. Everyone was taken to the police station for 15 days. And the case was opened against Volodya. In 1966, he was given a certificate with bad marks in the history of the USSR, social studies and behavior. The same year, Volodymyr Ivasiuk moved to Chernivtsi with his family and applied to the Chernivtsi Medical Institute. This decision was influenced by the advice of his parents and impressions of his father's stories about the Dr. Alexander Shoulder, who saved his life in the Gulag barracks. Having successfully passed the entrance exams, Volodymyr Ivasiuk was enrolled as a student, but someone informed the rectorate about his Kitsman affair. The next day, the young man was accused of dishonestly entering the student ranks, and an expulsion order was read out in front of everyone. Ivasiuk went to work at the Legmash plant. There he was assigned to lead the factory choir, which 6 months later became the winner of a regional competition. Under the pseudonym Vesnyany, Ivasiuk sent his songs "The Cranes Flew Away" and "Lullaby for Oksana" to the regional song competition dedicated to the 50th anniversary of the October Revolution and won the first prize. A year later, having received a favorable review from the plant, he re-entered medical school. It was there that he became a member of the amateur song and dance band Trembita. He played the violin. In 1972, he transferred to the Lviv Medical Institute, which he graduated in 1973. At the same time, he began studying at the preparatory department of the conservatory, and from September 1974, he studied at the composition faculty. In November 1978, he won the All-Union Competition of Composers Students of Conservatories in Moscow. In April 1979, he was a member of the jury of the first Republican contest of pop artists in Khmelnytsky.
Ти признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари, я без тебе всі дні у полоні печалі. Може, десь у лісах ти чар зілля шукала, сонце руту знайшла і мене щарувала. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода то є чистая вода, то є бистрая вода синіх гір. Бачу я тебе в снах, у дібровах зелених, по забутих стежках, ти приходиш до мене, і не треба нести мені квітку надії, бо давно вже ти увійшла в мої мрії. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода то є чистая вода, то є бистрая вода синіх гір. Не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода то є чистая вода, то є бистрая вода.
On April 24, 1979, he left home after receiving a phone call and never returned. Ivasiuk's sister testified that he got into a car with two men she did not know. On May 18, Volodymyr Ivasiuk's body was accidentally found in the Rukhovitsky forest near Lviv. The exact date of this incident is unknown. People were forbidden to come to the funeral. Workers and civil servants were threatened with dismissal from work, students with expulsion from universities. But a lot of people came to say goodbye to Ivasiuk. Taxi drivers, when they heard from passengers that they were going to Ivasiuk's funeral, did not take money from them, and musicians did not play in restaurants on the day of the funeral. The first to perform at Ivasiuk's grave was the poet Rostislav Bratun. He said, "We are not burying a student of the medical university and conservatory today, and we are not burying the author of the music for the play Black Bearers. We're burying a composer, the pride of Ukraine, the author of Червона рута, which the whole world sings." A month later, Bratun was removed from the post of chairman of the Regional Writers' Union and editor-in-chief of the magazine Zhovteny. They stopped publishing it, and he remained unemployed for 17 years, until the end of his life. There are many versions of Volodymyr Ivasiuk's death. Official structures imposed a conclusion about suicide, but the most likely version is that he was killed on the orders of the KGB. 10 years in a row, the authorities tried to keep the name of Volodymyr Ivasiuk quiet, but interest of his work never waned, and with the independence of Ukraine, it rose to the crest of a new wave. Former Lviv Oblast prosecutor Roman Fedik stated in February 2015 that Volodymyr Ivasiuk was killed by KGB officers for refusing to work for this structure.